It's been nearly 2 weeks since the highly restrictive abortion law took effect in Texas, and we're learning more about how not being able to get an abortion can affect a person's life and health for years after. Our latest NBC News report takes a closer look at this and finds the impact of the law is already being felt. At the Whole Woman's Health Clinic in Fort Worth, the number of daily procedures dropped from an average of 66 to just 11. Doctors say most patients looking to get an abortion are now ineligible. Joining us now to take a look at those numbers and the long-term impact of this law on patients' well-being is NBC News Digital reporter Chloe Atkins. So, Chloe, first of all, tell us, what have you learned from people in Texas about abortion access since this law took effect?
Hey, Joe. So since the law took effect, we've seen a wave of abortion patients leaving the state of Texas. So they're going to places like Oklahoma, New Mexico, and even as far as Illinois. But it's not the reality for all Texans. Not everyone can leave the state of Texas to get care. It's just not in the cards for them because, of circumstantial or even financial challenges. So we're talking about cost of travel, difficulty taking time off from work, or even securing childcare. And one provider told me that patients and staff are really struggling. And most of the patients that they're seeing, they are not eligible to get care in the state of Texas, which they say will likely lead to an uptick in people having to carry an unwanted pregnancy to term, which they will feel the impact of that for years to come.
We're going to take a look at physical and mental health risks in just a moment, but you also took a closer look at how being turned away for an abortion can have a serious impact on economic hardship. What did you find, and how likely are people to even fall into poverty as a result of not being able to get an abortion?
So carrying an unwanted pregnancy to term impacts folks in a variety of ways, like you just said, but one big one is economic hardship. So people of all socioeconomic backgrounds get abortions, but about half of people who are obtaining an abortion already live below the poverty level. So when someone is already struggling financially and they are denied care, it puts them in an even tougher economic situation. One study found that people who are denied care were more likely to live below the poverty level, experience, debt, bankruptcy, and even evictions compared to those who are able to get care. And I want to, really highlight that it's not the year-over-year financial responsibility of having a child, but when you don't have certainty over your family planning, it can really impact your career trajectory and even your education completion. So it really impacts people in many ways, economically speaking.
And let's talk about physically, what are the risks that people could face? And for victims of domestic violence, there's also a mental health toll, right?
So being denied an abortion can lead to a significant increase in anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, especially in the months after being denied care. But it also can increase life-threatening physical health outcomes. So patients who carry an unwanted pregnancy to term are more likely to describe their health as poor and reported higher rates of chronic pain compared to those who are able to get an abortion. And these outcomes are linked to pregnancy risks. So like postpartum depression, gestational diabetes, and even hypertension. And I also want to underscore, when you're talking about physical and mental health, a lot of these patients have domestic violence going on in their life. It's very common. And so in the short term, a person who is turned away from getting an abortion, they're more likely to stay connected with a violent partner, which can take a huge mental and physical toll on them, not just short term, but for the years to come as well.
All right, Chloe Atkins. Chloe, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.